Hi, love. Hello, and welcome to Co-Creative Healing Journey. My name is Greta. I am a healer, and this is Energy Paradigm, where I'm going to be bringing through messages from Spirit using this deck. This is the Thoth deck. And we are going to be bringing through messages that have to do with the awakening process in general and bringing through guidance, perspective, whatever messages Spirit wants to share with us. So if you are a subscriber, hello, welcome. So happy to have you here. Thank you for being here. And if you're new, also, hello, welcome. So happy to have you here. And that being said, all the formalities taken care of, let's look at what Spirit wants to talk about. We are talking about new arenas today. That's what the message is going to be about. We're going to be talking about, I don't exactly know how Spirit wants to share, but I do know that we've had videos here called Spirit Chats. There's a playlist here on the channel, and in those videos we've talked about how the awakening process is taking us into spaces and places that are different than what it traditionally has been in this era. So for example, for a long time, the awakening process was this, Pisces energy that we're stepping out of. It was very much about going like in the dark and the deep, but also taking a very devotional approach, going off to the ashram, the nunnery, pulling away from society in order to do this work. And we're taking a different approach this time around. We're really moving into society. We're moving more into the Aquarian energy, and Aquarian energy is community energy. It is brotherhood energy. So it does require that one-on-one contact at a collective level. So this is society, this is community, this is the collective. When we're talking about humanity as a soul collective, it's that soul collective and the evolution and the progress happening at those levels. So let's see how that wants to show up. We have got here Knight of Pentacles. We have got a Six of Swords. Yeah. And we have got a Ten of Cups. Beautiful. Okay, this is so interesting. This is so interesting. The Knight of Pentacles is talking about work that needs to be done. And it is the Pentacles, it's the earth suit, so it is taking us straight into all of that earthly level that we don't usually associate with awakening. So often awakening, it's about consciousness, it's about even philosophical perspectives, philosophy, metaphysics, again, that higher level, more airy aspect to it, very consciousness based, even awareness based, where it's about being in presence and flow in the moment. Spirit is saying the awakening next time, the next horizon and new arenas are in the work, the earthly, practical, day-to-day grind and work. And here you have a symbol that represents it represents mathematical concepts. And those mathematical concepts are basically a form of knowledge. Spirit is saying there is a science that I've been talking about, actually, that whole era that we spent going into the metaphysics and the philosophy and the consciousness of it all. We gained a lot of knowledge from it. And if you think about something like yoga, the word yoga means technique. It would be in Japanese, I believe it's the word jutsu, but it speaks about having a constructed form of knowledge and understanding of awakening and the paths to awakening. You can go to a Buddhist monastery, you can go to an ashram again, right? To a guru, a real one, a true Indian guru. You can go to one of those and they have a lineage, they have been trained, they have knowledge that goes back thousands of years, and they can teach you how to move towards awakening. There's a science to it. There is knowledge to it, absolutely. And that knowledge is available to us. It is the age of the internet, but it is also quite ingrained in us by now. And it's now about taking that knowledge, taking those concepts, taking those perspectives that are so spiritual, that are so metaphysical, that are about divine essence and alignment and consciousness and ascension and descension and all of those dynamics, and then applying it in practical ways in day-to-day living. How do we do this? How do we do this earthly life? How do we manage money? How do we manage time? How do we manage other resources? How do we feed and clothe ourselves? How do we build businesses? How do we live? Again, in that very grounded, practical, very human energy. And it feels very antsy energy. It feels very nervous, but in the sense that it's like a fledgling, like when a seed just starts breaking out. It's something that's new. It's something that also Spirit is saying is relatively fragile in you, not necessarily vulnerable, but fragile because it's just new, it's just starting up. And again, at an individual level, but also as a collective within humanity. So there is a process, there is a journey towards bringing that out and developing that. And that goes through this Six of Swords, which is Aquarius energy. So this is Mercury in Aquarius. And for me, Mercury in Aquarius specifically, that energy of Mercury in Aquarius is about abstract and abstract thinking. Mercury is our lower mind, our rational, analytical mind, where we find the logic linked to analysis, right? There are all kinds of logics. There's the logic of the heart, there's logic that is reason, there is logic of pragmatism. Practicality is a form of logic. But this is very much an abstract kind of logic, and that's where the Aquarian energy just shines and does its thing. And I'm laughing because I have a sun in Aquarius, so I can see where this is going. Because the thing about Aquarius is that as an energy, it has a perspective on life and on the world that is very much based in the abstract. And in another way of putting it would be idealism. So that even idealism is a school of philosophy. So it's a way of seeing where you're seeing the ideal reality, you're seeing the essence, you're seeing that big spiritual reality. And it is about how that is never changed. That's what idealism is, right? This is how we treat people. And then you say, yeah, but they're a bad person and they did this and they did that and blah, blah, blah. And they even did this to you. But the ideal doesn't change and it doesn't shift. And it especially doesn't give way to the individual, to the momentary, to this kind of minutia. And that's very much the Aquarian energy and the energy of idealism. And the Six of Swords is a card of congruence, understanding how things work. And so Spirit is saying there's the need to first really base ourselves in this higher perspective, this higher understanding, in this knowledge that also seems to come from another age, but could also be a lot of scientific knowledge. We live in a time where we have access to so much scientific knowledge about how the body really functions and the brain and all of these breakthroughs and information and perspectives that we also can apply in our own daily life. Like there's a lot of science that's coming through on meditation, the benefits of meditation, the benefits of breathing techniques, right? And then we can apply those and they align with the science from thousands of years ago, but they are complementary and they can work together. Six of Swords, congruence. There's no opposition, and it's about very much finding the teachings and the information and the perspectives that can work together to help us create a paradigm, a way of seeing life and seeing the world that we can then apply in ways that let us get on with it. So there's another aspect to Aquarius that we're going to talk about in a minute, but first Spirit really wants me to bring this home, and that would be with an example. For example, right? I was watching this podcast. I think his name is Andrew Huberman, and he is a neurologist. So he had this breathing technique, and I think the title of the was "You'll Never Be Stressed Again." Try this, you'll never be stressed again. And so the technique is to inhale twice and then take a long exhalation. And I've been doing that and it works supremely. And that's like a hack. That's a hack in the body. So there's knowledge here. And I already knew about breathing techniques and I was already applying breathing techniques, but I didn't know about that one specifically. And then there's everyday life where I'm doing things and maybe I get stressed and maybe I get overwhelmed. There's a lot going on at once. There's a lot to do, but I know to apply this because I have an ideal that says that life should be peaceful, life should be easy, there should be flow. I have an ideal that says that I never need to be stressed, I never need to strain, that's not what I choose for myself, that's not what my life is about. And in the grander scheme of things, that's not what I believe that life needs to be about in general. And so when those moments arise, I apply it, I leverage it, I embody it, I live it out. And so and take that nice long, and it works every single time. I'm even thinking to teach this to little kids in my family and just the children in general in my family, because it's just that potent. And again, this is part of the yoga, this is part of the science, this is part of the knowledge that we have about how to live well. And we're really coming into a time where it's important to start applying that. And that could come from that neurologist, and also it could come from other breathing techniques that I've done that have been around for thousands of years, right? I meditate every day. That's been a practice that's been around for thousands of years. So it's really about, also with these swords, choosing the different things to believe that are going to help us, choosing beliefs to help us, that serve us in upholding this ideal aspect and perspective. Now we get to the second aspect of Aquarius, which I love also. Again, Sun in Aquarius. This is another way of looking at it, is that Aquarius is ruled by Uranus. And that gives us that kind of zany, what's it called, like crazy inventor aspect of being. It's that thing. Poor people are weird and rich people are eccentric. So Aquarians are considered to be eccentric, even weirdos sometimes, whatever. But the point is that Aquarius actually has two rulers. There is an ancient ruler. So through tradition, Aquarius was ruled by Saturn. Then science came along and we discovered Uranus. So Uranus became the ruler of Aquarius. But traditionally, or in general, traditionally and in the new school, Aquarius has two rulers. And Saturn is an energy that is about learning our lessons. It's about karmic work, but it is a very structured, very down-to-earth, grounded energy. And for me, Saturn is a karmic teacher and rules that whole level of experience and energetic work and awakening and becoming that we have to move through in order to pass tests so that we can start manifesting things in our reality. So that would lend to Aquarius, to this energy that is considered to be eccentric and zany and foolishly idealistic. It would give it the ability to, in fact, become a very rational energy and very grounded and very, again, structured and focused and driven, and also very much able to move through the learning and the growth and the evolution and what it takes in order to find manifestation, in order to bring progress, in order to serve those ideals of brotherhood and connectivity and humanity at large. And so again, it's an aspect we don't often think about, but if we can balance the old and the new together, new potentials come in. And really, oddly enough, for me, I didn't see it at first, but it is in this whole 10 of Cups energy, because when you look at it that way, what the Aquarian energy would bring, and what this Aquarian age is, to me, at the core of it, especially Pluto in Aquarius, wow. For the next probably about 15 years. I haven't really looked at the date specifically lately, but Pluto is in Aquarius, would be moving into Aquarius, and will be there for about 15 years. It's one of the big shifts of 2024, 2025. It's been doing this whole dance back and forth into Pisces, which I call a miracle journey. But that is a story for another day, because the degrees that it's moving through, 29, 0, and 1, are considered miracle degrees within astrology and give an especially potent power. It lends the planet an especially potent power. So it's going back and forth across miracle degree energy. So again, as I'm recording this, I haven't checked the times and the dates. You may want to, it may speak to you. But the thing about Aquarian energy is then that the reason why Aquarius is so idealistic, the reason why Aquarius focuses on brotherhood and togetherness and humanity and all of us evolving at the same time, and equality, all of us having and sharing and having enough of a well-being in general, it's because it's the thing that is the most conducive to its own happiness and well-being. In other words, the Aquarian energy recognizes that for me to be happy, we all need to be happy. And that's a high level principle, because we're all one. So it doesn't matter. I may experience that I'm happy if you're not. I may believe it. It may be what happens, but at the end of the day and at the core of things, it won't actually be true. And it's that thing about how in the 40s they started welfare programs. I'm thinking especially of the UK, the United Kingdom, where they started welfare programs, and how they would explain it is that there's a lot of poor people because it's about 10 years, like 30s, 40s, about 10 years after the Great Depression. There's a lot of poor people. And if they don't have enough, they're going to become criminals, and then they're going to come for us. That was kind of the logic and how it was presented back then. So in order to avoid all of this conflict and all of this stuff that ultimately is going to mess with me and my own well-being and my security and my possessions and my stuff, let's give them enough so that they don't become a threat. And to put it in a different way, that's the Aquarian logic. That's the Aquarian logic. If we're going to be happy, if there's going to be well-being, if there's going to be fulfillment, if there's going to be enough for me to lead my life the way that I want to and to thrive in this world, then we all have to thrive. And anything less than that is an illusion. It is temporary, and it is ultimately pointless. That's very much the Aquarian energy. So that being said, let's see where Spirit wants to go with this. So I did take a moment to go check, and bear with me, we're going to put it all together. So right now, as I'm recording this, Pluto is at 27, 28 degrees of Capricorn. So I think I said Pisces before, but it was going back between Capricorn and Aquarius and over those miracle degrees. Now it is at about 27, 28 degrees. It's going to go back into that 29th degree on December 20th. And so that's basically the solstice. That's winter solstice energy. And then it's going to go into Aquarius on the day of my 40th birthday. So I feel incredibly honored. But that's going to be, for the message, it's birthday. There's rebirth energy here. That Pluto in Aquarius energy is just going to be so transformative, and it's going to be so incredibly transformative and incredibly energizing. There's a new energy that is going to be coming into this, that is going to be coming forward for all of us. And so I'm going to keep drawing cards and we're going to keep talking about it. But again, we're going back to the notion of new arenas. It's very important that we understand when we're looking at these energies, and there's Pluto. Again, Pluto is like 15, it's a collective sign, it's a generational planet, it's considered a generational kind of energy. And so this is a big shift. This is not just a shift for me, for you. It really is a shift that is going to be collective. It's like a whole new space that we're stepping into, a whole new energy landscape that we're moving into. And Pluto has this energy that is very determined and very kind of taskmaster energy. And for me, Pluto is this energy that keeps us all aligned with unity, with the divine plan, with that higher level of reality, idealism, right? We were talking about that. So when Pluto moves through the houses, it comes into each and every single house and goes, okay, so how are we doing with unity? How in alignment with the principles of unity are we here? How much is that manifesting in this house and on this realm, right? And everything that stands against unity, that is not in alignment with unity, Pluto is going to smash that down. And so Pluto in Capricorn, we've seen what happened to our societal organizations. We even experienced with this Pluto-Saturn conjunction in Capricorn. We experienced the whole 2020, 2021, 2022 shift and transformation. That was so much of that energy, and it's going to be ongoing for the next 30 plus years. So there's been this tremendous upheaval in the foundations of our society and how we thought that things worked, right? There are so many people who assumed, oh, I would always have this career, or I will always be important to society, right? I'm a doctor, I'm a lawyer, and then the pandemic comes and you're out on the street just like everybody else. Oh, but I was buying into the societal model because I thought it benefited me. Well, actually, no. And so many people were shown. We had politicians, we thought that they were thinking about the greatest good, and then we have politicians on television saying, well, let them die. You know, business has to go on, business as usual. Don't ground the planes, business as usual. And so there's a lot of awakening at that level, and a lot of collective awakening about the Capricorn themes of how we organize society, how we organize business, how we have set up our society to function. You know, like economy, one way of describing the economy, defining it, is that it is the science that deals with the distribution of resources in society. So again, we were looking at how much unity is there in how we distribute resources in society, how much unity is there in how we organize society. And so now we're going to be shifting into the Aquarian energy, and we're going to look at how our collective bonds and brotherhoods, and how much unity is there in how we manage that collective level, that community level, and how much progress do we also need, right? And there's going to be a lot. I could already feel, because I already knew there would be a lot of heart expansion energy in 2024. There's going to be a lot of evolution in our heart awareness, and again how we live from the heart and navigating from the heart. That's going to be big themes in 2024. But one of the ways in which we expand the heart collectively is through difficult events. It is through actually kind of chaos moments, sad moments, tragedies also, and the kind of the bigger the better, the large scale the better. This is not to fearmonger, this is not to scare anyone. I cannot stand when astrology is used for that. So that's not, I'm not telling you or prophesizing that anything like that is going to happen. I'm simply saying that when we are looking at the energies, even if something like that happens, we always have to remember the underlying point and the underlying issue. And Spirit is saying that, okay, we're back to the theme. That's the new arena. That's the new arena. And the new arena is where we're going to be needed. We're going to be needed to be in the room, to be in the boardroom, to be in the hospital room, to be in the school, to be on the ground, and to be present, to be on the internet, to be present when those moments come, when those bigger dynamics unfold, so that we can represent this higher perspective, this ideal perspective, and bring it back to that. Right? Because again, the Aquarian energy is not about presenting a form of idealism that says, no, 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 no. You know, let's, forget about society. Let everybody lose their livelihood. We have to do the best thing possible. There's the way to do both. And Aquarian energy can do that. You know, the spirituality that we embody and we represent and bring out into the world is not sterile. It's not silly. It's not pointless. That's what Aquarius says. It's not pointless. We have to take care of one another. We have to love one another. We have to have brotherhood. We have to change things. We have to progress and evolve. Otherwise, well, at worst, things remain the same as they are, which is taking us down, right? It's not even that things need to necessarily get bad or worse. They're already bad enough, right? And so that's the worst, is that for things to remain the same, we need to evolve, we need to move forward. And again, that Aquarian energy of being constructive and improvement and progress and moving things forward. And I'm just holding this card for the longest time because this is Aquarius. This is the star, major arcana number 17. This is the Aquarian archetype, and Spirit is saying we're going to start right there. You see this representation of the star. She's holding one cup and the other, standing in the flow. And this goes back to the notion that in every star has its place in the sky. And every single one of us watching, we have our own function. We are moving, especially into 2025, which is going to be such a huge year energetically, and it's a huge destiny point. The star is also a destiny energy in the tarot, but 2025 is a huge destiny point where we all need to be in a certain place, in a certain way, doing certain things with certain people. And actually, I'm putting it wrong. We need to be in a destined place, in a destined way, just doing destined things with destined people. It's destiny time in 2025. And so that Aquarian energy, another way of looking at it is that it is the destiny of the human race. We are destined to evolve by moving through experiencing, learning from, embodying, integrating the energies of the Aquarian age. And there's a whole thing about that, how that is actually the new 12th house. Actually, when we have the precession of the equinoxes and things move, the new 12th house, which is a house of integration, that 12th house is now in the sign of Aquarius. So in the new astrology, the new astrology, Aquarius actually rules the 12th house, and that is what we need to collectively be integrating at this time and onward. So I actually had drawn two more cards. We have here the Seven of Wands. Ooh, I like it. And we have the Ace of Wands. Beautiful. We have wand energy, fire. Okay, so first of all, new arenas, we're going to need to have courage, because a lot of the things that has happened when we talk about awakening, spiritual communities, and evolution is, again, that we've taken up this pattern from other lives where awakening is about moving away from society. So a lot of alternative spaces, a lot of rejecting society, right? What is it? They're bots, or people are bots, or people are NPCs, or they're sheeple, or, conspiracies. It's this, it's that, rejecting, right? I don't want to deal with it. It's not real. It's not true. But actually what's needed in the new arena, it's the courage to go back into those spaces and to bring this new energy and to embody it. And so we have here the Six of Wands in the back. So that already represents a form of success. It means like you have to, you yourself, embody that energy, realize it for yourself, succeed as yourself, and then you will have even greater success when you step into that destined space, into that destined function with this new energy, embodying it and seeking it forward. That's the new arena. Spirit is basically going like, hey, ground troop. This is the battlefield. This is the playing field. This is the new arena. And it's not going to be off in your own corner, kind of being a big fish in a small pond and really kind of loving how amazing you are and so on and so forth. It's gonna be in those arenas, in those spaces that you left, that you walked away from because they didn't fit you. But now you are strong enough to show up in those arenas and to be successful in those arenas. And really, with this kind of energy, to be the boss there, be the big fish in a bigger pond, to show up with this energy and represented with a lot of courage, listening to the voice of the heart, but also like a lot of confidence, a lot of strength, a lot of passion, a lot of power, and just going like, no, I hear you, but no. Not the way we've been doing it, not the status quo. And let me share, let me bring forward something new. And let me share it in this arena, in this space, in this family, in this group, in this relationship. Things that you walked away from, you're going to be called back into those things. But you're not going to go empty-handed. You're going to be bringing a completely new energy. This is Ace of Wands. And all the aces have this energy of, or this aspect of repurposing the energy. So Ace of Cups would be repurposing emotional energy. This is repurposing intentional energy. Spirit has a couple of messages with that. First of all, you're not going to show up empty-handed. You're not showing up to the party empty-handed. You're going to have this new energy with you, and you're going to embody this new energy. And what we need to know and understand is that a lot of us are not awakened, but also we're just kind of, how do I put this? It's very rare to find people who meet people and they read their energy and they know the energy of what's going on, and they just have that read, and they're just plugged in. Very often, a lot that we do, for example, is we read body language, and we pick things up without being aware that we do that. So when you show up and you're embodying this energy, you don't necessarily have to break it down. You don't have to explain it. You don't have to convert anyone. You don't have to get on a soapbox and, this is the new age. You just have to be you, and you have to believe it, and you have to be strong in it. And then you bring it out, and it's gonna come out of your mouth. It's gonna come out of your eyes, your whole being, your whole appearance. It's going to be in the plans that you make, the goals that you pursue, the values that you have, the standards you set for yourself and for a relationship or a project, and so on and so forth. What you say yes to, what you say no to, all of that is going to have that energy, which is, represents the Ace of Wands in this card, this very same energy of spirit, of the process. It's going to be present in you, in there with you. And that's going to be so much more than you can imagine, because a lot of people just instinctively will follow, right? It's yeah, that's basically what it is. This is leadership. This is leadership energy. But it didn't show up as a King of Wands. You don't have to master it. You don't have to master everybody. You just have to follow your passion, your truth, your will. You just have to move that out into the world, embody it, and that will de facto give you a leadership position. And for so many of us, that's the function that we're supposed to have. So why am I in this dysfunctional family? Well, because 2024, 2025, you're going to show up with this new energy and you're going to affect that family. Why am I in this horrible workspace? Because 24, 25, new energy that wants to come in. And hey, maybe you are working in the business that is going to crack desalination of water, or find, that that power source that we all want, that non-polluting power source. Maybe that's where you're going to work, or you're going to work in the company that's going to fund that, right? There's so many different pieces and things, but it all fits together. And Spirit says, I have the master plan. I have the master plan. I know how it's going to fit together. It's simply a matter for here and now to be willing to show up, to do the work, the laborious work, the day-to-day work, the practical work, right? Sometimes it's even showing up for work every single day, and to keep doing it and knowing that the more that you yourself embody this energy, the more you work through it, the more you live through it, the more you're going to bring it into situations and circumstances. It's like, when you come through the door, you walk in, of course, you show up at the office, hello. But the energy also shows up with you, hello. And it moves with you. It's a part of you, and you can work together, right? That's what co-creation is. And Spirit wants to co-create also with you. And it's going to take for you, there's a lot going on in your life right now to help you to understand it, to help you see it. Your idealism, your visions, your perspective, they are not as abstract as you think. There is a way to really ground it. There's a way to really bring it in. And Spirit is going to show you how can those visions be put into material form, be made more practical, be made more applicable. And again, it's you, it's your awakening, it's your journey right now, but it's also the energy of the times. It's also, throughout the end of 2023, as Pluto makes that move back into Aquarius, beginning of 2024, for the next 15 years, all of that. It's collective energy that is also here, just going to carry you along, push you along, move you along, and co-create this with you. It's what wants to happen. That's the energy, what wants to happen. And I'm telling you, everyone who's not in alignment with what wants to happen with that Pluto energy moving into Aquarius are going to have challenging times ahead. And again, I do not wish anyone ill, obviously. Goodwill towards all beings, the highest good of all, playing out in every single moment. That is unity energy. That is what Pluto is going to bring. So Spirit is saying that for you to understand that you're actually in a privileged position, and you're going to experience that privilege the more and more as you go along, because being in alignment with the energy, being in alignment with the divine plan, being in alignment with this evolution that is moving through humanity, moving through the planet at this time, being in alignment with that and serving it is going to be the best positioning that you could ever choose for yourself, bar none, in these days, today, tomorrow, and in years to come. So love, that was the reading. Those were the messages that I have for you. That's all I know to share here and now. And so I hope that this video served you. I hope that it spoke to you. I hope that it inspired you. I hope that it gave you some of this to feed you into having more of that. And however that shows up for you. I would love to hear how you received this video. Please share if you feel like it. And otherwise, my love, sending you lots of love, wishing you all the best. And I will be seeing you around. May you be blessed always and in all ways, and so it is. Bye.